Namaskar. I'm Kumar Rakesh, and you're watching Global Governance News TV. Today, we're going to discuss the attitude and behaviors of politicians and the effect on the development. This is not a India issue and Bharat issue. This is a global issue, as we have observed, as we have analyzing, as we have seen, and the different parts of world. As far as the Bharat, we have been observing day by day, day to day, how the attitude and behaviors of politicians changing day by day. According to my experiences, if you just I look into and just going to that, since 1991, I have been covering the Indian Parliament, Parliament of India, all the proceedings. That we have the two houses, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, upper houses and lower houses. We just named it, and upper houses is for the all dignitaries, intellectuals, the country. But there also behavior is not up to mark. This is also a matter of concern. If you see the senates and the congressman in the USA, if you see like that, the other countries also different behaviors. Overall, behavior has been changing now recently, as far as the concern of the Bharat, India, otherwise country also. If you analyze the political attitudes, this is a matter of concern to everyone. Everyone has on their view of politics, their own interests and ideas and ways of behaving. But individuals do not exist in isolation, nor are they unique. If this were the case, it would make no sense to talk about the working class or youth cultures, or to make generalization about the left-wing intellectuals or right-wing business interest. How the left-wing business interest and right-wing intellectuals. At a still more general level, citizens of the same country usually share similar assumptions and views about the politics, which makes the so it's a different way from the Chileans, the Spanish different from the South Africans, South Koreans different from the Irish. Political scientists find it useful to level these shared patterns of the beliefs and attitudes that is called the political culture. The first part of just the political values and attitude of the individuals and groups are examples how modern research try to understand the political cultures. We are going to discuss on the values and attitudes are important in their own right, but they are also significant because they tell us something about how people are likely to behave. Behavior for the country, behavior for the people, behavior for the issues, and attitude for the development. Behavior has a big and direct impact on the political life. As you say, the culture, we can say sanskar. In order to understand what people do and what they do it, and it is necessary to understand what they think for the country, for their own interest, for the vested interest, whatever. For example, it's not enough to know that someone who did not vote in election. We need to know whether their inaction was caused by apathy, alienation, and contentment. And there are so many issues just we'll discuss today. And if say the political behavior, this is also related to political psychology. If you see the political psychology research on political attitude and evolution has focused on the similar issues in context of politics. Many of these debates in the political psychology have mirrored debates in the social psychology. This concern, the social psychology and political psychology in the parliament of the different part of the world as well as the India, that is a Bharat, examine the role of online versus memory-based evolution, automatic versus control processing, and the automatic of the effect. A number of papers, for example, have shown support of the cognition hypothesis or the idea that political attitudes and effectively charged, the effective response is automatically activated upon the encountering a stimulus. There's the theory how and why they affect our political system due to how affect our social system also, the political participation and how the political science influence of social groups on the political outcomes, short-term influences and political orientation. So that's why in India, as I have absorbed, there is an orientation course for the newly elected member of parliament, how to behave in the parliament. That is so important. There is system. There's a Bureau of Parliamentary Studies and Training that is called the BPST. So overall, with India and other parts of the world, we'll discuss for this political behavior, attitudes for the regarding development in the parliament. We have the Professor Shivaji Sarkar, senior journalist and political analyst, and covered the parliament long time, more than 40 years. His experiences of the journalistic career. Anita Chaudhary, more than 25 years of journalistic career, and covered parliament many times. And in Bharat, and Alok Lahar just saying, will just share something the Spanish parliament and the Indian parliament, as well as with the European parliament comparative study. So we start from the Professor Shivaji Sarkar. How just you say the behaviors and the attitudes of the politician, as far as concerned of the Bharat, they're going to be degraded day by day. They're valued day by day. What's the reason behind it? How do you analyze it? Thank you.
Rakesh, am I audible?
Yeah.
So what you were saying, that is a part truth.
Yeah.
You see, I've seen various kinds of houses with various kinds of combinations. But one thing I have seen across the parties, there are some parliamentarians who are very distinct. They do study, they come prepared, they know what to say, and they leave a mark. So if there is a dean or anything, that doesn't make much of a difference to those erudite parliamentarians. And they can be in Lok Sabha, they can be in Rajya Sabha. And in different countries, I think the trend is more or less the same. Now, let us also think of disruption in parliament. I think there is the last 70 years since independence, disruptions in parliament is not unknown. Not only here, even the mother of parliament in UK, also we have seen that. And disruptions happen for two reasons. One, there may be that some members want special attention. Some members want to raise certain issues which are not being heard. That is a possibility. And there is another issue. Every fault is not always with the opposition. If those in the treasury benches, they are not prepared to listen, then also these kind of disruptions take place. But largely I have noticed even those who disrupt the houses for whatever reasons, they're also not keen on disrupting the houses. And one thing we also should remember, that if you look at the rules of the houses, both recognize certain kinds of disruption which may not be as volatile as we often notice, but walkouts and similar other kinds of things are part of the procedure. So House allows dissent and expression of that dissent. Now you have to realize another aspect of it. Should people go to this extent? No, nobody wants to normally, I believe, wants to go to this extent, except, yes, there are certain occasions, political occasions, the elections are approaching and like that. Some may try to take the advantage of the situation in the house to highlight themselves maybe, or their causes. So that is another aspect. But largely, there has to be a process of dialogue in the house. There has to be. See, it is not that only the opposition is very reticent. Sometimes the treasury benches are also sometimes becomes reticent. So there has to be a balance between the two. We have seen the least disturbances took place possibly during NDA 1. Sometimes it did, but largely we found that then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, his Parliamentary Affairs Minister, and his other colleagues, they used to keep a continuous dialogue with the opposition. Opposition leaders, they used to exchange pleasantries, they used to have tea together and like that. And we also noticed, despite being in a very difficult situation those days, the houses largely were managed excellently. So these are some of the situations that we need to understand and need to observe. Present situation that is there, I believe you see, yes, opposition is a bit rigid, no doubt. But we find that on the other side, the treasury benches are also not less rigid. So rigidity versus rigidity leads to a situation of, you can say, exactly not conflict, but a situation that is not very palatable for the people to see. Now, there is another aspect of it. Should we feel that the opposition is biased? Well, there may be some kind of a bias in the opposition, but we need to understand another aspect of the opposition. Often we give certain names and epithets to the opposition. Is that true also or not? That we also need to see. Because you see, opposition is also part of the government. We forget that. Whosoever is in the house is a part of the government. Whether the branches or opposition branches, they work for the same cause. That there should be proper governance, there should be proper discussions, and there should be a result that is acceptable to all in the interest of the nation, in the interest of the people. We need to understand whether all these things are being addressed in the present situation or not. You see, some kind of show off in house is always welcome. But we have also seen many members and many groups also at times taking up issues very eruditely in an atmosphere of quite a relief and laughter and putting forward what they want to say. So that is what parliamentary democracy needs to be. And I think, you see, there may be certain unruly situations at times, but should we really go for, we can have dialogues within the house. There are various forums in the house, the chambers of the chair, that is there also the forum. So whether many things could be worked out at that
But,
level or
but,
not.
but
But
Professor
going,
Shiva Sarkar, just as you mentioned, there is so many forums that raises the issues raised in the parliament with a different way and different attitudes and behaviors. So, Alok Laharji, how just you see the behaviors of the parliamentarian and the politician inside the parliament and outside the parliament, either in Bharat and Spain and other country, how relate, how just comparatively analyze.
Good evening, Kumar Rakesh and fellow panelists and our viewers. I think, in most of the democratic countries, the system is the same, but the behavior can be different. And I think the two major reasons is, who goes to politics. Majority of the politicians in Europe and in Spain in particular are lawyers by profession. So they're very well versed with what are the legalities and what are the illegalities of the thing. Second thing is the people who are there, they are not there to rule, they are there to serve the people. That is what I've seen. That's the difference between, let's say, we compare the European parliamentarians with the Indian parliamentarians. And per se, I don't know many families like which are into government. What happened with the transition? Because India, when the democracy comes to India, it is transition of power from the ruling elite to the Indian elite. And who were the Indian elite? Majority of them, they came from very rich families. It could be Mahatma Gandhi, it could be Nehru, it could be the other people. Even if we look at our super Dalit, as we call, as I would like to call him, which is Dr. Ambedkar. He had his education abroad. So he also was from the elite class when he did something. All the royal families were there. Even if you look around right now, most of the parliamentarians, they are ex-Maharajas or families of the ex-Maharajas. Now that's the difference. Now, for example, I was just trying to find out how much does a parliamentarian earn in a year. In Spain, approximately a parliamentarian earns less than 3 lakh rupees a month. That's what he has got no security, no drivers are given to him, and no house and all that.
No facility. Yeah.
Nothing like that. And in case
Okay.
he's living outside the capital, then he gets, traveling allowance so that he can travel from, let's say, in our case, from Barcelona to Madrid. So he'll be probably getting around 100, 1,900 euros extra, and some other perks would be there. So which means you have to actually justify those, expenditures by showing that you're actually spending this amount of money on that. So certain these things are there, but if you compare this to an Indian parliamentarian, for example, the classical example is like they get around 10,000 rupees every month for their telephone expenses, and Geo is giving you, unlimited call time for less than 3,000 rupees. So why are they getting these 10,000 rupees extra? That's the question. Plus, I'm not talking about the Lutyens area.
That is
Bangalore,
talking about
that's
Alokji. That is talking the allowances. But what are
yeah.
allowances is that related to the behaviors and the attitude that is
You know,
different
one
way.
thing, Rakesh, if I
Everything
can,
counts.
Rakesh, a small intervention. I believe the kind of country this is, the distances that they have to travel and very far and wide, the number of people they have to serve is also very large. The allowances of Indian Parliament are just adequate. They are not in excess. That much I must say.
No, no, not more than adequate. Anita ji, how just Alok ji saying and the Shivaji, whatever allowances is there. I was in Parliament that day when the bill or just to the increase the allowances and the salaries and perks that was the past how many minutes as you know it as Shivaji know it, not more than 5 minutes. Placed the bill and passed. No human cry, no any hangama, nothing like that. Anita ji, why Vandana ji is laughing. This is the fact. We all are laughing that day. What?
No,
Just
This
just,
is
until
this
until
is this is
recent,
everywhere. This is
yeah,
everywhere. Even the
I'm
House of
waiting for
Congress,
that.
no Democrat, no Republican. They may fight with each other.
Rakesh,
But when it comes to
Rakesh
benefit,
ji,
Vandana
Rakesh
ji,
ji,
Ho Chi Minh, I was reading the revelations of Ho Chi Minh, the great leader of Vietnam. When you there's a name of the Sarani in Kolkata and so many places. They're good friend of the country, the India, Bharat. But I was just reading, say, what you do, what's your profession? If you're doing the politics, then what is your profession? Well, I
sir, please, I just disagree with it. If I'm doing a politics, please take politics as a profession. This
no,
is
no,
the
no.
problem. That's why the politician is
I'm telling you
taking
different.
this
Just
country as for granted. I'm
my life.
totally disagree with this, and I believe that
Let
whoever
me
is the
complete my line.
politician,
No,
they should
you
professionally handle
you
it and do
you missed
professionally
it.
this politics.
You
There is
missed
Anitaji,
it.
no,
What he's
they
saying.
don't have to do anything other, any other things. The dual kind of professional is harming this country. First thing. Second thing, we always know
no, no.
that profits
You are
unite people.
supporting my facts.
Profits
Let me complete my
profits
facts.
unite people. Profits unite people,
Anitaji,
and
Anitaji,
politics divide
let
people.
me complete.
So
Let me
the
complete.
when the bill passes
Anitaji,
for the
Anitaji,
politician by
Anitaji,
the
let me complete
politician,
my
it
question, please.
always.
No, let me complete my question to you. Just you are just placing your view without completing my question. My question was I
This is
just
not
let
my view. This is my point. This is
no,
my concern.
Aditaji, I am telling you different way, asking you different thing, and you are going to different. I am only asking you. I'm just I'm placing my view. How Ho Chi Minh the placed his view. If you are doing the, if you are in politics, your profession should be different. One, how Alok ji said in Spain, as I also know it, you must know it. If you are a politician, you can't do any business, anything. Only you are a politician, serving politician with
That's why
comparative.
Spain, as a small country, is so progressive
So
because they are
now,
doing
how
politics
you
as a profession, as
how
a
you compare
profession.
how you compete Bharat with, with these two countries? That's my question. Yeah.
No, no.
How?
Why Bharat will compete? Bharat should have its own ideology and its own identity. I don't think that we should compete with Spain or any other countries. Bharat is Bharat. Bharat should behave like a Bharat. Bharat should must maintain its identity. Bharat should must do competition with Bharat only. Because what I was yesterday, I have to move ahead little bit today. This is the attitude that will make the country progressive. First thing. Second thing, you have asked
I'm
that
coming to you
why
after the break.
allowances has
I'm coming
passed
to you
so
after the break.
quietly.
I'm coming to you after break. Just a break, and I'll come to you. Then go to
सर
Ramesh.
आप मुझे अपना बात पूरा नहीं करने देते. This is not.
Welcome after break. Anita ji, just what you are saying, just you may complete. There is no issue. Actually, I try to maintain the time. You in time, I should
I
take break.
got it. I got it.
That's the problem. Please carry on. Please carry
Yes.
on. Yeah.
So you have asked that why the allowances bill has passed so quietly, and
Yeah.
and I'm telling you because the profit it's always unite the people and politics divide the people. Whenever the allowance bill is for the politician, by the politician, and to the politician, so it's the all the politicians get united for that. There is no hue and cry. There is no objection. Yes, I want 8,000 per month as a telephone allowance. I want the salary of the parliamentarian has increased. Yes, I am very happy with. I don't mind it. But no, either it's Congress or left or whatever they are. They don't object at any time. But whenever it comes to for any bill for the people of this country by politician, other politician, they always raise the objection, and this is the bad thing. This is the bad thing. The politicians should understand the opposition has its particular role. The government has its particular role. All opposition has all the right to raise objection, to raise question. Go. They should go in the people of the country also, and they should put their point as to whatever the government is bringing. There is some kind of loophole in this bill, and these are the loopholes. We are concerned about that, and I want that you guys should also understand this and raise your voice. But what nowadays government is doing other kind of monopoly, and politician is doing other kind of playing other kind of monopoly, and there is a tough war is going on, and there is that's why there is no parliamentary work is going on, no policy is coming, no bill is coming, because either it's opposition or it's government. Both are playing politics only under in parliament also. This is the bad thing. You can play all the time politics, but outside parliament. If it's come to the parliament, that is your workplace, and you have
That's
to
the
work
point.
there.
That's the
You,
point.
you,
That's
you
the
have to
point
do
you're
perform
raising.
your work. Opposition should not think that they don't have any duty. The people of India has given the mandate as the opposition of this country to perform some kind of duties over there, not to raise
Okay.
objection, do ho
You are
Allah
going in
and
different
all the
direction.
battamizi. This is the
Anita ji.
bad thing, which is
Yeah.
because of that only the country is suffering, the people of this country is suffering, and and I think if the behavior of the opposition will not change, it will always be damaged them, it will always be
Okay.
disgrace them, and it will always be
Shivaji, I'm coming
bring
to
down
you.
the trust, bring down the trust in the people of this country. They
Okay.
will not
No,
they
nobody
will
is
not
saying.
play
Okay.
equally if they will play this
Anita
kind of
ji,
role.
Anita ji, just you are saying कि I'm not giving it time. You have taken all in 9 minutes overall. So please, Vandana ji, Vandanaji, just you see that just a comparative with the parliaments of the Bharat and the behaviors of politician in the Bharat and how just the behavior of USA. If you have some experiences, you can mention it and how just you think the nature and behavior of politicians are same either in the Bharat, either in America, and either the Europe, any part of the world.
Uh, Namaskar. And as you talking about the subject, like, politicians and development.
No,
No,
attitude and behaviors
no,
of politicians
I'm
and
just,
development. Yeah,
yeah, I'm just talking
yeah,
about
yeah,
politicians
please.
and development. Do they go together?
Oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah, and
okay.
attitude and behavior. Why do we send them as an elected official? We send
Okay.
them for the development, but they become politician and the development because they do development, but only for themselves. So there is like, and when we talk about this is global scenario, uh, when it comes to writing their own, she did mention when politicians uh, they are writing for themselves, why there is no consensus. When you do the mehengai bhatta, like whatever in India they have, like, some pay commission or whatever. So why
Yeah.
there is no commission which is third party for the elected officials also to approve it or not to approve it? Like in US we do have a system, let's put it this way, we do get this voting on the ballot. It should be done or it should not be done, but which is not there, because this is a democratic way of asking. Like we are trying to increase this much tax on soda means Coke and Pepsi and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. So sometimes it's a very small thing, but the state is going to get the tax which is higher than, so that people refused it. So it's the same thing, career and politics. Because politics, when we talk about it, should not become a career for people. They should come because, and they should come and serve, and then they should leave. Means like, you don't have an age of retirement. uh, you are muted, Kumar Rakesh ji, you are muted.
That's why I quoted the Ho Chi Minh, the quote of the Vietnam leader, the
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to give chance to a fresh brain. You really want to have an age limit set. And another thing which is very, very important for any nation to grow, because it's a taxpayers, those who are paying for the elected
Yeah.
officials.
That's the point.
So that
Well,
is what, as me being a taxpayer, even if I'm paying 10 rupees, 100 rupees, whatever my contribution is, that contribution I want to see on the development. I don't want to see that. And that's what I have brought this point, very, very crucial. So people have to, should have a right to question what is this going on. I did not send you to the parliament or to the local municipal corporation to take care of yourself and your well-beings. But I wanted it to be of a community, of a society, of a state, of a nation. So when people will start demanding, but how will that happen? You have a right to ask whom you are sending it to the parliament, because the people with the corrupt biodata, if they are going, so you are giving them more to do corruption as being an elected official. So it is responsibility of we as an individual also, we as a voter also, to send the right people. And there are certain reforms which needs to be done. If they are missing the parliament, I mean, like, what for did I send you? After few days of missing, absentees, they should be not suspended, they should be terminated. Then this will be a long, strong message. Because if you don't go to the office where you are working as an employee without any reason and cause, what happens? You have an answer. Thank you very
okay.
much.
Thank you. Sivaji, just you have seen heard the all Alok ji and Anita ji and Vandana ji. How just why? What's the reason behind it? The attitude and behavior of politician is just downgrading day by day.
No,
This is
there is another aspect you are
no,
forgetting.
no. Do you think this is a reflection of society? the globally just to have been just analyzing and viewing, or due to their vested interest, or just their vested political interest?
No, Rakesh, I do not fully agree with you on this.
Yeah,
You see, it is not that we can deride a politician very easily. There is no problem in that. But we forget that when a politician goes to parliament, he tries to prove himself not only to the audience of the entire country, but to his constituency as well. There is an, we also have to see how media does it. Media, unfortunately enough, for the last many years, since especially with the rise of the television, gives
that's
more
quite.
prominence to hooliganism anyway. And this is
That's quite.
happening, it is
That is
happening about parliament as well. So those who can shout, those who can say kind of misbehave or do like that, they get more media mileage.
media mileage.
And we, and there is another thing that has happened with the media. The media has got extreme tilts towards one side, and mostly naturally from where they can get their feedback. When I say feed, I mean food also for them. So when you say the parliamentarian is not behaving properly, it's very easy to say. But are you not forcing him to do that also? That is from one aspect. Second aspect is on the side of the treasury branches. Also, now we are seeing that when an opposition leader starts speaking, they're derided, they're disrupted. It is not that only one side it is happening on both the sides. And you see, especially opposition can take certain advantage, but the ruling clan, they have to see a kind of restrained behavior. And that is what has been the tradition in this country. So just an opposition member is speaking, I may not like it, so I try to push him down. I think that is also not a very a decent and acceptable situation. So why let the opposition speak? Let everybody speak whatever he wants. And naturally, when I will be speaking something, Anitaji will say something, Ashok will be speaking something, everybody is speaking something different. Though it may be the same subject.
Alok ji sir, always just you by
Just a
try
minute.
to correct, name the correct the
We
Alok
have to see that parliament allows discussion from both the sides. It is not. The disruption becomes the culture. If disruptions becomes the culture, forced suspensions become the culture, then there is more conflict in the society. And that conflict, what is parliament? Parliament reflects the society. That
Yeah,
conflict is represented in the
and
parliament.
society reflect the parliament, vice versa.
Now you see, it is a multicultural, diversity society. There will be different aspirations in different ways.
Okay.
You see, one ruling party will maybe having 30 to 40% votes, never more than 40, 41% votes.
You're just a
So
draw a very good
rest
line.
of the 60% are also as important as the others.
I'll
That
take
is
from the
why
Alok
we have
ji.
to see
Yeah,
that everybody gets represented and allowed to speak out.
yeah,
Forcing down anybody or choking anybody will not solve the issue.
yeah. Those nice point just you raised, Alok ji. Just the uh, parliament and politician, vice versa. The parliament is the reflection of society, and that is reflect in politician also. One thing, and the role of media. If I remember, Shivaji and Anitaji maybe know it. The Shivraj Patil was the speaker that time. The Indian Parliament,
One
Parliament.
small thing I would like to say
But
again.
just I'm
Earlier,
adding. Yeah,
no, just
just
very
when we started the
one line is
telecast.
just one
Please,
line.
please, please.
Earlier, we had seen that within the party there used to be democracy, and within the party, the criticism was the maximum.
Okay.
Somehow, we are not seeing that now.
Okay, sir. That's the now third point just raised the internal democracy, the party they are disciplined or not, But we have in India, Bharat, there is a award for the best behavior, and in the parliament there is a yearly there is a committee for who just select the parliamentarians who would honor them with the best behavior and attitude in parliament, how they their conduct also, how they behave. Number one, number two. But what is Professor Shivaji Sarkar raised the issue about the politician behavior, society, and parliament, the reflection of society in parliament through politician, and the role of media. If I remember, just everybody knows is when the parliament started go to live telecast. After that, the behavior and attitude has drastically changed. That I find a reason. Do you think like that, Alokji? Unmute yourself.
Definitely, the parliament should reflect the social reality of a country. But and behavior, obviously, like everybody wanted to be on the television ever since Rajya Sabha television, or that thing started off. Now we
Lok
all
Sabha, now all the United, that's just TV now in it.
exactly
Yeah.
now this everybody wanted to show to there, and they were not talking to each other, they were not even discussing things, they were actually paying or saying something to their electorates in their specific electoral regions. So that was the negative point of it. Otherwise, everybody could have an access to it, and we could listen to what they were saying or what they were doing, who was sleeping and who was actually working, and who came with his homework done. So everything like that's a very good thing. I think it should be very transparent and open. So that is fine. But I've not heard in Europe that there is somebody who is, let's say, a professional parliamentarian. Let's say he's not a professional politician. I can talk to you about the previous prime minister we had. He had his 2 terms, and in Europe you can have it only for 2 terms, and then you have to go like you do it in the United States of America. And then he went back to his office, and he was shown in a small little office which where he was sitting and he was doing his work. Which means by the time you are given this privilege by the people to be elected to the Senate, then what happens is that you leave your job and then you are paid a certain amount of money so that you can serve the people because of the time and the dedication which you're doing. But after that you go back to your normal life, and after that your political life almost is finished. And only
Okay.
people who have been elected twice, they can get a lifetime pension. But in India, it doesn't happen like this. And the second thing is, which I've always been saying, is that the attitude is very different. The attitude of an Indian parliamentarian is that I'm here to rule. It is not that I'm here to serve. I've always said that. I mean, the way they behave with the general public. I've been with parliamentarians in Spain who took a metro to go back to any other place, and they were sitting in the roadside cafe and having coffee with us as if nothing had happened. I would like to see this happening in India also. It doesn't. And I was in Holland, and we were standing in front of the parliament, the Dutch parliament, and suddenly this gentleman came with a suitcase in his hand and he walked. And a friend of mine, he just introduced me to him, and he was the prime minister of Holland. Just imagine. And then he crossed the plaza on his own, walking. He took a bicycle and he went away. I would like to see something like this happening in India. What is happening is that most of the parliamentarians, the only thing they do is they talk about removal of poverty, and the only thing they do is remove the poverty of their own family. We can talk about 6 or 7 parliamentarians or chief ministers who've been there, let's say in Uttar Pradesh until now, or in Bihar until now, and where they come from, and how they were living, and suddenly, their family members, they're driving luxury cars. Now, where is this question asked? Like, where did you get this money from? Or if we talk about
That's
the
the point. That's the point. That's where some principles should be made, as you mentioned, Alokji. Uh, Anitaji, very valid question just raised by Alokji. There should be some the rules are there for the ethics of the parliamentarian. So how you think the parliamentarians in India and Bharat are maintaining the ethics of the parliamentarians? There are also ethics committee also in our both houses,
I'll
Rajya
just
Sabha and
I'll
Lok
just add one line so that Anita ji can speak on that also. Like these 12
Sabha.
parliamentarians who've been asked not to come to the parliament right now, they were
Yeah,
manhandling they were manhandling the staff in the parliament. This is
yeah, you're right.
unacceptable. This is unheard of. That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, sir, it's not staff. It was the Sabhapati. They
The
reached
man,
to the and they had thrown the
They
papers and all that on the speaker of the upper house.
manhandle
So
also
the
the staff. Manhandle also.
manhandle also, and this was the behavior. So they deserve it, I think. They should. It is a very hard message to all the parliamentarians to behave yourself and
Yeah.
don't behave like a janwar. Don't people has not voted you for all these of kind of behavior. Every day we are witnessing this on roads. All the Mawali are doing this. If you are a Mawali, then you cannot be a politician. So please behave. And second thing, why always we compare? I know that the VIP culture of the politician is spoiling the culture of the politics of this country. This is a very hard fact. We cannot deny from it. But every time we compare India from America, Spain, Poland, and other countries, so at least India has its own identity. India should compare by the India only. Ki why India is deteriorating? Why India is deteriorating itself day by day? It should improve in certain manner and progress. If the
Okay.
progress is going on, the
Okay.
person should always look like a progressive politician. They should
Okay.
not behave like an animal and dog, a street dog. We have
Okay.
not chosen a stray dog for the parliament.
Not
We
a matter
chose a
of dog.
politician and they should
We
behave.
no, no, Anita ji, we can't say the parliamentary dog and the vulture and whatever here. That is
I will
also
say, I am comparing, I'm not saying them a stray dog, but they are behaving like a stray dog only.
This is the I have references to the parliament how that we speak and how they just take the just excuse and all that that is different thing how they are behaving that their own their responsibility and how they are behaving that is the own responsibility also. That's why the chair of the Rajya Sabha has just evicted from the house. So actually now something Vandana ji has to speak. So Vandana ji, just how would you analyze the things? Whatever Anita ji says, the role of India, Bharat is okay. The our constitution has made with the inputs, the best inputs of the different country, the developed country. That also it knows how it is the culture of the constitution, how our constitution made just to run the country. That is also a fact. We should not forget. Vandana ji.
Namaste. First of all, the comparison cannot be as per your convenience, to be honest. If you want to compare, why do we compare with within and outside world? To
Yeah.
improve ourselves. Like if something is happening good in the other parts of the world, we should adapt it. Why not? Because everybody's eyes in today's time, if they open the visa for United States of America, I think half the population of India will be in line to get the visa. So don't say that, first of
No,
all.
no, but
Any
I'm not saying that, ma'am. But it's also a fact that India is not so racist as America is. The white
what
skin
is
and black skin difference
No,
is
no,
too
no, no.
much there.
We
So
are not talking about
what is the
Anita
America
racist
ji,
should
Muhammad?
also compare
Anita
itself
ji,
with
Anita ji,
India. There is
Anita ji,
certain good things in India
I'm
which
not going to buy
America
Anita
this.
ji,
don't. America cannot be selective in
You are
comparing.
distracting the fact.
I'm not
You
buying
are
this
distracting
statement.
the facts.
I'm not
You are,
buying this statement. Thank you.
yeah,
And
please.
when we talk about, there should be a term limit for
Talking the attitude and behaviors, how the racism and other things came in, please.
there should be term limit even for politicians, so the others can get a chance. Politics should not be a career. When we talk about it, running for an office, there
Yeah,
are, because and we I actually am been advocating the same thing here in United States of America too, because we do have congressmen, those who are 80 plus years of age. At that very time, what are you going to deliver, Alokji? Everyone has, like, age is, I always say age is a number, but you should give time to yourself, like, for others, like, then it becomes very seasonal, like, it is. So I want the freshness, and I do want, if something is, if Bharat is doing something good, I will tell Americans to learn from Bharat. Equally, if America is doing something good, there is no harm for people of Bharat and the politicians of Bharat to learn from Spain and America.
Or
Thank you.
whatever good thing, everybody
Yeah.
can learn from there. So no issue. Just whatever just discussed here. So every good thing should be taken from the different parts of the world. If there is a good things for the parliament, for the society, for the development, there is no bar to take in the good things from anywhere, as our Vedas said, our Upanishads said, and our the Purana said, and our the Sanatan Hindus culture says. That is a real facts, a real truth. We can't avoid it. We can't ignore it. But
I'm not going to taking any facts, any good thing from the Quran. Please, sorry.
I'm not talking about the Quran, madam. I have not mentioned the Quran. Why taking the Quran inside it? I'm not talking about the Quran. Sorry. I'm talking about the Veda, Upanishad, and Quran. You have heard Quran. I don't think why just listen this. So sorry for that. So what is it? Just behavior and attitude that reflect of society, and so a politician within the society reflect in the parliament, and just that is related to development. So our politicians from the either from the India, either from any part of the world, should learn whatever they want to give society from the best with attitude and behavior. That is a theme, and just want to discuss from that. As you discussed, Professor Joy Sarkar, Vandana ji, Alok ji, Ananta ji. Thanks to all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.